Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Dan, and welcome to another exciting fight night in Brazil. As you can see, Hector is not here. He is on vacation in the Big Apple, where hopefully in the not too far future we'll get some MMA events. But before we get started here, I have to remind you, never ever bet more than you can afford to lose. We go into this with the best of intentions, and people can say this and that about what the right and wrong pick is, but it all comes down to 2 guys, 1 referee, and 3 judges. Now, let's get started with UFC Fight Night 62 in Brazil. This is the first fight in Brazil since last month, when we had 10 of 11 underdogs overcome the odds and beat the sports books, and it was a great night for us. It was actually our greatest night to date. We won almost 17 units with 4 underdogs coming through, and it was just overall a great night. So we're back in Brazil. We're ready to go, and I'm just going to go through the overall picks first, and then we'll get into the bets. Okay, so first fight of the night, Bentley Syler versus Fredy Serrano. This is a fight where either guy could really win, but Syler having the advantage, just more fights on his record, and just overall experience. So Bentley Syler is going to be the pick by decision, but do not bet. Do not bet. Next pick is going to be Jorge Oliveira over Christos Giagos. This one, also same kind of thing. Oliveira is probably going to go in there and just knock him out in the first round. I'm not going to get too much into that one, but do not bet. Do not bet either. That one could go either way. Third fight, Leandro Mafra versus Cain Carrizosa. Now, Cain Carrizosa lost his UFC debut to Chris Wade, and Leandro Mafra lost his first fight too, but I'm not sure who that was. Anyways, but Leandro Mafra looked overall better in the fight, in his first fight, and Cain Carrizosa is he fought a real beast in Chris Wade. But this fight will likely go the distance. But do not bet. Do not bet. Do not bet. The fourth fight of the night is going to be Leandro Silva versus Drew Dober. Drew Dober coming off of a great upset over Jamie Varner in a fight where, he won. But a lot of people say, Jamie Varner made a mistake in that fight. He made a mistake, and he basically knocked himself out with a takedown. And Drew Dober finished him off pretty quickly. Leandro Silva coming off of a great win over... Man, I wish I had this up here. Just a second. Leandro Silva. Leandro Silva came off of a great win. I remember it was a good fight, and it was an impressive win, but it was Charlie Brenneman. He submitted him in the first round. That's right. Charlie Brenneman is the kind of guy who can be winning the fight the entire time and lose. Before that, Leandro Silva lost to Francisco Trinaldo and Ildemar Alcantara. And both of those were lackluster performances. Charlie Brenneman, that one's not that impressive, but a win nonetheless. And sometimes that's all it takes to turn the tables. So the pick is also going to be Leandro Silva by decision over Drew Dober, but do not bet. All right, so for the next fight, we have Edmilson Souza versus Katsunori Kikuno. This is one where it was kind of interesting at first because Hector and I were talking, and we were thinking Kikuno for the upset on this one. And after further research and finding out, Souza's camp changed, we're going with Kevin Souza on this one. This is actually going to be the first betting pick. It's going to be 3 stars, and we're going to have him, let's see here. We're going to have 1.3 units risked on him to win 1.61, but we have to have him parlayed with 2 other fighters in order to get decent odds. So I'll go over those in just a little bit. But Kevin Souza to win by decision, and he is the first pick of the night, and that is a 3-star pick. The next fight, Francisco Tonaldo versus Akbar Arreola. Akbar Arreola basically went out there and finished Eve Edwards, who is now retired. And Francisco Tonaldo has kind of been a hit or miss since coming into the UFC. It should be Tonaldo's fight to win, but do not bet Francisco Tonaldo. Unanimous decision over Arreola, but do not bet. The next fight is an exciting one that I think I'm looking forward to the most. Yeah, I'm going to go and say the most. I want to see what's going to happen with this one. It's going to be Godofredo Pepey Castro versus Andre Fili. And, Andre Fili being Team Alpha Male and everything, should win this fight by unanimous decision. But every time the odds makers count out Pepe, he shows up in a dominating fashion. And in my opinion, I think he has a very good chance at winning this fight. But Fili is the pick. Unanimous decision, but do not bet. All right, next fight of the night. Gilbert Burns versus Alex Oliveira. This one is a no-brainer. It's going to be our first 4-star pick of the night. Gilbert Burns to win by submission early in the first round. And that's going to be a done deal. Done deal. And I'll get into to the bets with that one just as soon as I finish the overall picks here. Next fight, another one that should be a done deal. Amanda Nunes versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler on The Ultimate Fighter had a lot of experience coming in, but I have not. Both of us have not liked what we have seen with her in the octagon when she fought Beige Correa, who's fighting for the title now. Her stand-up was just awful. The only person that we've seen worse than that, I think, in the women's division was recently Carla Esparza lost her belt last week. And, it's just kind of just a one-dimensional fighter. And so if the fight gets to the ground, it could be interesting. But it shouldn't be any problem for Amanda Nunes to win by knockout in the first round. She had Kat Zingano in all kinds of trouble. And Kat Zingano, a lot of heart, survived, came back to finish that fight late. But we just don't see Shayna Baszler being comparable to Kat Zingano. So Amanda Nunes, knockout, round 1. The next fight, Leonardo Santos versus Tony Martin. Tony Martin's kind of been a disappointment in the UFC. He's looked decent early, and his cardio has been a problem. And he will probably do well in this fight, but that doesn't mean he's going to win. Leo Santos, on the other hand, has kind of also been a hit or miss. He's looked impressive, and then he's also looked terrible. So he should get the decision with it being in Brazil, but do not bet that one. And now into the co-main event. Erick Silva versus Josh Koscheck. Josh Koscheck coming off of a terrible loss against Jake Ellenberger, where Jake Ellenberger pulled off his first submission in the UFC. And Koscheck has now lost 4 fights straight. The last time he won was against Mike Pierce in Vegas. Cost me a lot of money on that night. I would say I had a 500% of profit coming my way had the judges given me Mike Pierce, who I think arguably won that fight. But nevertheless, Josh Koscheck is done, and Erick Silva, he's kind of been a hit or miss, but there's no reason why there's no money that should be laid on Erick Silva, who usually finishes fights in the first minute, if not the first round. This should be a no-brainer. Erick Silva by knockout round 1. He will be a 3-star pick. And now on to the main event where my dog and I are split. Demian Maia versus Ryan LaFlare. Demian Maia has also kind of been a hit or miss. After the John Fitch fight where he looked dominant. Ever since then, he's just been on the decline. And Ryan LaFlare on the uprise. But the level of competition for LaFlare has not been there, or has not been at the same level as Demian Maia. And so that's why I think Demian Maia is going to win this fight. But the pick is going to be Ryan LaFlare by decision. But do not bet. Do not bet this fight. Demian Maia could show up like he did against Dong Young Kim. Like he did against Rick Story, like he did against John Fitch. He could turn it right around in one fight. So I could easily see him winning. But again, do not bet. So let's get into the betting aspect now that we've gone over the entire card and the picks. All right, so if you guys are unaware, we are 3 for 3 in the last 3 events. Over 23 units won. Combined, and we're looking to make it 4 straight winning events in 2015 now. So the first play of the night is going to be Erick Silva parlayed at minus 450 with Amanda Nunes at minus 385, and we're also going to parlay them with Gilbert Burns at minus 485. Now, the lines may have changed since, and in fact, I think they have, since we logged this, but this was actually logged at 10:45 p.m. Pacific on the 18th, which was Wednesday night, the night before last. And again, this play has already been out there for you guys to bet on. For anybody that jumped in early, anybody that didn't jump in, it's okay. The picks remain the same. It's just for our units that the odds aren't going to change because we have it logged and tracked via third party. So all three of those fighters parlayed together. We get at those odds, we get the odds of minus 117. We're going to put 1.5 units to win 1.28 units. The second play of the night will be very similar, but instead of Erick Silva parlayed with the 2 4-star picks, we're looking at Kevin Souza, or Edmilson Souza is his actual name. And we're parlaying him with Amanda Nunes also and Gilbert Burns at the same odds. Souza, however, is minus 210 instead of minus 450 like Silva was. So we get the odds of plus 124. We're going to go ahead and put 1.3 units on that play to win 1.61. And yeah, it should be, those are basically the 4-star picks parlayed with the 3-star picks. And just as a safety, we're going to do a last play with just Nunes and Burns, 1 unit to win just over half of a unit. Same odds again to get minus 192. This is a 2-leg parlay. And, so everything is riding on Amanda Nunes and Gilbert Burns. But if Erick Silva, if they both win, all we need is Silva to win and Souza to win to make it a profitable, or to make it a perfect night, I should say. If one of those 2 guys loses, we'll still be having a profitable night. And the only way we wind up with a negative night is if Nunes or Burns lose, who are 4-star picks. A lot of confidence in both of them to finish early. And if Silva and Souza do not show up, we lose with both of them, it will also be a non-profit night. But again, we go into this with the best intentions, and just do not bet more than you can afford to lose. We're looking to win 3.41 units after risking 3.8 units, which gives us an overall expected return of minus 112. So I think I've gone over just everything. Let me just go over the ratings one more time. Burns and Nunes are both going to be 4-star picks. So those 2 picks are going to be 4 stars. Erick Silva and Kevin Souza, those are going to be 3-star picks. 3-star picks. And that is it, I believe. Yep, that is it. So again, we'll get through this one. Looking to win 4 straight events. Moving on to a 5th. I know we have another card coming up here, April 4th, I believe. So we're looking forward to getting it done and making you guys lots and lots of money and keeping you guys happy. Until next time, my name is Dan. See you later.